I did my research on the COBE Space probe, and I think that the COBE Space probe is actually pretty interesting. So, I learned that the objective of the COBE Space probe was to find different types of radiation in the universe to try and prove that the Big Bang Theory created the universe. The type of data that was collected was different kinds of radiation, like microwave background radiation, and some different kinds of infrared from the early universe. To find this data, they used the Derby, the DMR, and the FIRAS. These are just fancy acronyms that are essentially just saying that they measure radiation. I also learned that the COBE Space probe was launched November 18th, 1989. This is only about 8 years after the first shuttle was ever launched to space. Though the expedition is not in space anymore, it still served its purpose very well. The expedition was active until about 1993, so about 4 years they decided to stop. It took approximately 8.5 minutes to get into the orbit of the Earth, where it took measurements of radiation. The effect on Earth. The most important thing that we learned from the space probe was that the Big Bang is probably what created the universe. The technological advancements that were made were we could measure radiation much easier now that we had that in space, and we know how to do it easier. And the practical uses for this are that now people can live in a safe place because they know that it probably won't be radiated. And here are some fun facts. COBE actually wasn't the only space probe to go into space and do what it did, which is measure radiation. And an example of the other probes were the WMAP, which was a probe sent to measure radiation. And the acronym COBE actually stands for Cosmic Background Explorer. So you can see the CO, the first two letters in cosmic, and B, the first letter in background, and E, the first letter in explorer. So that was it. This is my bibliography. These are all the sources that I used to find all this information, and thank you for listening.